Good moment, folks. My name is Victoria Day, and I'm a somatic movement therapist and educator based in mid Missouri. And this is part two of two videos that I'm creating at the request of a few clients that I have who have been beginning to explore um, awareness of the ways their upper and lower bodies are connected, body halves are connected, and how recognizing that an over focus and overuse of their upper body as what where they're holding and um, keeping themselves safe, supposedly, by with tension in the upper body, is really creating an imbalance for them mentally, physically, spiritually. Um, so we're not going to go in to this video with what I would call the actual somatic movement of the upper and lower, just a tiny bit, but really more just how can someone begin to mm, bring in this awareness that they have a pattern in their body of upper and lower connectivity that is designed to, as part of our human experience, to allow the lower body to be what supports us and helps us move, whether that's just in our everyday movement or to move towards safety away from something that's unsafe or uncomfortable. And that our upper body is really about, um, is supported by our lower body for us to be able to reach and to grasp and to make contact, whether that is literally with our arms, our face, our head, or whether that's how we're doing it in our mind. So I would like to invite you. I will not be doing movements with you, so this is not the kind of video where you're going to be following me, but I'm going to be inviting you to explore. So letting yourself pause this video if you'd like, but I'm just going to ask you to walk around your space and letting yourself feel as you walk around your space, noticing what you are seeing to help you decide where you want to settle, letting yourself hear, feel the temperature, smell maybe. And when you are ready, deciding where is it that you would like to be. If as you've oriented, you've recognized up the space that you'd picked isn't really going to work for this, let yourself try it somewhere else. And at that same time that you're checking into the space outside of yourself, I'm inviting you to let yourself just tune in to how you are supported, tuning into the strength that is coming up through the feet, feeling the strength in your legs, feeling how that strength, it's like it pools in your pelvic bowl so that all your organs and all the tissues of the upper body are resting on that support. Just gently, again, you can pause this video because we just don't want it to be a plop down, but an exploration from standing through the levels, letting your breath go, using your breath to support you as you lower yourself more and more in connection with the grounded support of gravity. Ah, letting yourself slowly find ways to allow more and more of your surface to be in relationship with the floor. And you may have a mat or a carpet, but I would advise not a bed, not something squishy, something that is firm yet comfortable that you are laying on. And I'm going to invite you again. Always know that you can pause this video, but let yourself explore front body, side body, and through this exploration, letting your breath go, seeing if you can just more and more soften so that your movements aren't about muscularly adjusting your body and more about letting yourself yield and shift your weight in relationship to the support till just organically allowing yourself to come onto your back body. And if being on your back body is not comfortable for you, then I suggest that you listen to this video, see what you can gain from it, and you can always reach out to me and ask for the opportunity to be supported in this exploration um, using different orientation to the floor. So for those of you who have found back of your head is resting on the floor, I invite you to let your eyes soften. Let your jaw and your mouth soften. Let the weight of the head move on the top of the spine. Feeling the weight of your arms softening down to the side or resting your hands gently on the belly if you'd like to feel the way that the breath is filling up and emptying. Yeah, that's right. Just letting go. And you'll notice that I am sometimes letting go, softening my mouth. Sometimes I am letting go through my nostrils. These each create different experiences of ease within my body. So just try that out for yourself. Letting yourself feel how, as you're breathing in, the ribs and the back of the body, the back of the shoulders, the whole back body can widen on the floor, spreading. And as you exhale, just feel your throat and your heart, the front of your chest, the front of your diaphragm softening into the floor. I like to imagine that there is this elastic white ribbon running from deep inside my brain down the front of my spine, all the way down to my tailbone. And as I'm inhaling and exhaling, that ribbon lengthens and then shortens. And that it's not a lengthening of tension, but a lengthening of lingering in the extension. And then when I release, it's not a collapse, but it is a collecting of, it's not just like a rubber band, because this is a living tissue. It's a collecting together. And as I mentioned in the other video, which I will link below so you have a little more background, just letting yourself explore for you right now in this moment. Where does it feel like your upper body becomes your lower body? As you let yourself feel and invite the digestive system to soften, to yield, to flow on this pulsation of breath, allowing yourself to move into rest, allowing your digestive system to have more space. And you may get a gurgling, you may belch, you may pass gas, and that's all okay. Because even though we're not doing big movements, which is where we can start going with this upper lower, we are moving the body. We're not laying there still thinking about this. I'm inviting you to allow yourself to feel the sensations of the body, to let them move and adjust. Maybe sounds come up. Ah, maybe even a bigger sound. And then letting yourself feel the sacrum, which, if you don't know what that is, like it's that flat part between each side half of your pelvis. People often talk about that as their hips. And each side of the bone of the pelvis is connected in the back by this flat triangular bone called the sacrum. And as you're laying there, letting yourself feel the organs in your lower torso, your bladder, maybe your reproductive organs, the end of your digestive system, to all soften, and they're going to be softening downward, which in this case is backwards into your back body. And the back body is accepting this support from the earth. And so feel we've moved organically from upper body awareness into lower body awareness. Where exactly did that happen? And then we're going to move down into the feet, letting yourself really find and feel the feet, not just static. Let your toes move. Shift the weight between the toes and the heels. And noticing as your feet are moving, you may notice the knees move. There may be a side to side. And if there's a side to side, notice how that, bring your awareness, tune into how that wakes up where your leg connects into the pelvis. might also notice as you're moving your feet, your knees may want to extend and flex. And again, just letting yourself notice as you let your feet reach out away from your core. Your knee may lengthen, and you may then also want to let your knee flex and come into the center, into the core, closer to you. Just feeling how that wakes up, brings awareness to the femoral joint. And this whole time, we're always tuning in, what I call the check in. We're always tuning in to the breath. At any point, you are holding your breath. Let it go. Feel the pulsations. Because it is the breath that supports us as we start to move off of our space. And it's the breath that supports us in all of our movements, but especially when we move off of this space. And you may even notice if you push into your feet, that push will sequence up through your legs and will bring your pelvis to move forward or towards the ceiling, what in yoga they often call a bridge or a half bridge, right? But we're not trying to create any specific shape here. We're just creating awareness. Oh. And so again, if this feels like you want to keep exploring, just tuning into your breath, feeling the lengthening and the shortening of the front of the spine, the spaces between the vertebrae, feeling the widening or the spreading of the back body, really taking in that nourishment, and then letting go. So that front body can really soften into that back body. If this is really, excuse me, if this is really feeling good, then please pause. But now where we're going to go is using this upper lower to begin to support us in movement. So first, I'm going to invite you to let your legs, let the feet rest on the floor in what we call semi-supine, or sometimes this is called the constructive rest posture, where your upper torso and your head and your arms are resting on the floor. Your knees are bent. Your feet are also resting on the floor. And letting those knees start to reach towards the right, come back up to neutral, reach towards the left, come back up to neutral. And just letting yourself feel how the lower body is moving and the upper body is staying with the support. And we're not trying to do anything yet, but we're feeling how the tailbone gets engaged, how we can start feeling the lower body. Right? Where does it meet then the upper body? And then letting that come to neutral. And let yourself reach across with one of your arms, looking the same direction as your arm, and feel what happens in the other body. Come back to neutral. And you're not trying to change anything yet. You're just bringing awareness. And remember, if you hold your breath, let it go. And notice that there's a support here of breathing in as you come back to neutral, exhaling as you cross Now, inviting yourself to coordinate the pulsation of your breath, your inhale and your exhale, the lower body leading, and then the upper body following the lower body, so that you roll and spiral to the side and possibly all the way over, so that you can push it up into hands and knees, or kneeling, to help you with standing. But before you go up to standing, I'm going to invite you to let yourself unwind in that same way. You're on your side or you're on your hands and knees, and then you're going to let your lower body lead back down to the floor, using your breath, letting the upper body follow, come back to the semi-supine position. Wow. And then, just to play with this awareness, I'm going to invite you to start with the upper body, reaching across, and then feeling when the upper body is ready for the lower body to move, and letting the knees move with the upper body, and letting it spiral, so that you're not just opening and closing, but you're actually letting the upper half of the body, and again, going onto your side, potentially onto your front, so that you can push into your hands, your knees, the front of your lower legs, up into tabletop or into kneeling. In a different video, we can get into moving yourself up into standing, but I invite you to let yourself use your breath, use that support of the earth to help you unfold yourself as easy as you are able into standing, and then walk around and notice what you notice. Notice any change in your awareness, change in your mind, your stories, the quality or content of your thoughts. Noticing anything about the tissues of your body. Noticing anything about your energy. I would love for you to make comments. If you like this video, please subscribe if you've not done so already. And if this intrigues you, but you're not really understanding what's going on, which that's wonderful, that's a great place for learning, and you would like to connect with me, please contact me. We can set up a 30-minute free consultation, and we can find out whether there's a possibility of working together. I don't like that word, working. Possibility of us exploring together, me supporting you in living your life more fully. Thank you so much for joining me. Blessings.